Hey guys, welcome back to the next part of our series. Today we're gonna finish this little, like the top of the skull. And don't worry, there's a lot of pieces here. I know retopology seems like a really daunting thing, but there's a lot of pieces that are really easy. So you saw the axe handle, how easy that was. And as we get like further and further into this process, you're gonna get faster and faster as well, which is gonna really show on the speed of the retopology. So for the teeth, we do want to create a little bit of a loop, right? Because we do want to capture some of the holes that we created here on the teeth. Easiest way to do this is to just create a couple of squares. So just a square right there. And then we're going to create a little loop with that square going out like this. Why a square? Because I know, again, that when we create the smoothing option for this thing, that square is going to give us way more resolution than what we actually have. And that's going to give us a really smooth round effect. If you've seen any of the modeling stuff that we did on the other one, when you have literally a cube, for instance, where's the cube? There we go. If you smooth a cube, you get a sphere, or you get really round stuff. You can see we get 8 sides to that cube. So that's pretty much what we're doing right here. We are using that sort of like principle with the Catmull-Clark subdivision stuff, or subdivision approach, to generate that sort of change. So again, we do a square, we create the border of the square like this, and then the tricky part is going to be to match that border, or to join that border with the rest of the elements. Now we don't need everywhere. So for instance, right there, or in this like final like molar pieces, I don't see a lot of depth to the holes. So we can pretty much just start like collapsing some of this guys right here, like closing the elements, and then that's it. Now, if we go back here again, we want to keep our center line. So let's add one center line right here, and that center line is going to be like merged right there. You can see here things start getting a little bit tricky, and we're going to use a technique that I like to call stitching, which, well, it's not that I only like to call it. That's usually how they name it. And the way stitching works, I'm actually going to add one section right there, one more line, because things here are a little bit stretched. And here, like I know this one is working, like that union is perfect right there. This is the center line, so we're going to go with the center line right there. And this is the center line up here. But the center line is going a little bit crazy, right? So I'm going to use my cut tool, and we're going to go from this corner to this section right there and hit enter. And as you can see, that pretty much divides this face into a square and a triangle. The triangle can very easily be connected to this guy, and that way we don't lose a lot of stuff. Here, triangle, that's fine. Here, another stitching might be a good idea. So we're going to go from here to there. And then on the quad draw, we can just like stitch there. Little triangle there, that's fine. Again, we move things around so that the polygons are not as stretched. It's very important to always take that into account. Let's go here again. You can stitch. So we're going to go from here to create another stitching section right there. And one of the tricks about the triangle technique that I'm showing you guys is that, again, that's a little bit stressed right there. So in this case, I think it might not be a bad idea to add another section right here, like that. Just again, to keep the border as clean as possible, even if we have like a little star right there. There we go. There's a little secret that I haven't shared with you when doing this technique. And that's the fact that when we smooth, look at what happens to all of the triangles that we have right here, because it looks very messy right now. But when we smooth, we go mesh and smooth, all of the triangles become squares. Okay? Square, square, square. Even n-gons become squares when you smooth. So the smoothing is a really strong way to fix a lot of the topology. But if you already have a really clean topology before smoothing, when you smooth, you're going to get an even cleaner topology. Remember the triangles that we have here, and here, and here, like all the triangles are now gone. Everything is a square because of the smoothing option. Now that we have this, we can, of course, go to a mesh and conform. Even if we don't see the option because it's a live surface, we conform, and look at that. we've now successfully captured a lot of the silhouette of their character. And in regards to triangles, if we take a look how many triangles, look at this. 5,500 triangles. It's quite nice. It's a nice number for such a big asset or such a big part of the character. I actually closed a ZBrush, but on the ZBrush section, I think we had something like 20,000 triangles, and it was looking really, really, really dirty. So this would be the final part of a section. Now, of course, you can see that we have a couple of issues here. Easily solvable. We're just going to merge those to center. Let's see. Merge to center. Okay, let's get rid of symmetry. Grab those two, merge to center. Grab those two, merge to center. Grab those two. You can press G to repeat the last action, and there we go. Another thing I like to do is I like to press number 3 to go into smooth mode and see if we have any issues. I don't see any issues, and as you can see, the silhouette in general is being captured very, very, very nicely. We're not going to smooth this. Like, this is the final like asset that we're going to see in game. And another one of the cool things is that we can still, like, if this was if we had an issue with performance, if this was a little bit too high, and let's say our client is like, no, we want this to be at 5,000 polygons only, there are ways to reduce this. We can delete a couple of faces, delete a couple of edge loops, like for instance this edge loop right here that goes around the whole like mouth, all of this guy. It's really not that important. So we can just press Control Delete. That's gonna give us probably like 40 faces or something, or 20 faces. So you can definitely reduce the amount of polygons in certain areas. You can create LODs and minimize the amount of polygons that you have, and that's gonna give us an even better result. But this one is working perfectly fine. I'm going to delete the history. Do not freeze transformations, again, because this information is going to be important later on when we match it to the true high poly, not the one that we're using for the decimation. And yeah, this is a really, really nice density. It is quite dense. I'm not going to lie. It is quite dense. But for AAA games, like if you've seen like the latest God of War and stuff like that, you can definitely have a character that has 150,000 polygons total. So I think we're still in a good amount of polygons for this piece, especially because it's such an important piece of the character. But later on, if we see that the performance is a little bit heavy, we might need to reduce this a little bit. So now that we're ready, what we're going to do, of course, is we're going to move this middle mouse drag to the inside here. And very important, you're going to select the exact same name that you have right here. And this is going to be called the exact same, but with the underscore low, like that. Okay. This guy, we don't need it anymore. You can delete it because this is not the one that we're going to use it, or you can just hide it and we're going to be ready to move on to the next section, such as, for instance, the jaw. Press H, and there we go. So now, since we're going to jump into a different section, I actually want to show you how we can use some of the other tools and techniques inside of Blender. I'm going to show you a plugin that we're going to be using, and we're going to go over some of the shortcuts before, again, we jump onto all of the pieces that we need to do. So that's it for this one, guys. Hang on tight, and I'll see you back on the next one. Bye-bye.